a very famous stat is that it's combined. You put music and video industry together, and then gaming industry is bigger than that as well, right? In order to get into this industry, the path is very black and white, right? Like people who are on inside the industry already know about how to make a successful career in the domain, but people from outside don't know anything about it as well, right? And what ends up happening is that, on the other hand, gaming companies are flourishing and growing because a lot of people want to play games, but then they're not getting the right kind of talent that they need to grow this industry really fast.
Hey folks, welcome to First Cheque Portfolio Shorts. My name is Noah Martins, and this is a series where we speak to founders of our portfolio companies so that you get to know their team, understand what they're building, and the problem they are trying to solve. If you like the content that we've been putting out, do like, share, and subscribe so that we can reach more founders and startup enthusiasts like you. Today's very special guest is Mayank, founder of Outscale. Outscale is solving for the talent shortage in the gaming industry globally by building a full-stack game development training program. Their mission is to support professionals and founders working in the games industry by investing in talent and helping them acquire the skills needed to succeed. Outscale provides students with content, mentorship, guidance, and networking to help them learn more about the gaming industry while building a global community to make connections happen. I had a really fun conversation with Mayank, and it's awesome to see him creating this movement at the intersection of edtech and gaming. Stick around till the end of the episode to learn more about Outscale. Mayank, thank you so much for joining me. It is a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thanks, Noah. Thanks to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start by talking about the problem that you're trying to solve at Outscal.
Generally, I think majority people don't realize this, but gaming industry is huge. And just statistically comparing revenue numbers, right? Like a very famous stat is that it's combined. You put music and video industry together, and then gaming industry is bigger than that as well, right? But in order to get into this industry, the path is very, very black and white, right? Like people who are on inside the industry already know about how to make a successful career in the domain, but people from outside don't know anything about it as well, right? And what ends up happening is that, on the other hand, gaming companies are flourishing and growing because a lot of people want to play games, but then they're not getting the right kind of talent that they need to grow this industry really fast, right? So at the end of the day, this came from my personal experience, having being on both sides, where I started as a software developer and wanted to enter into the gaming industry, and it took me 3-4 years to make that transition happen, which involved going to US, doing a master's, and then getting my first job as a game developer. On the other side, companies, when I was working with companies like Jungly Games, hiring, it took us literally 2 years to find one engineer that we would hire full time. Just because there's so many candidates who are interested in becoming a game developer and entering into this industry, because heck, it's super cool to say that I make games for a living, right? But then they don't understand the equation in terms of what companies are looking in terms of technical talent. So at the end of the day, the core sort of premise for Outscale was always, how can we help talent accelerate their career opportunities in this space, right? Whether it's from getting jobs in this industry, figuring out the right career pathways, getting to connect with the right kind of companies and HRs in order to break in, and building successful careers by sometimes even launching their side projects as well as full-fledged game projects, right? So Outscale core premise is, how do we help sort of tackle the talent needs of this industry, and broaden the scope of what this industry means, and how much talent can access this industry.
That's awesome. Okay, so talk to me about your solution. What does Outscale look like? How do people interact with it?
Yeah.
How is it that you're solving this problem?
Sure. So at the core of it, Outscale has education as the very sort of core pillar, right? So what we do is, we have a 7-month cohort-based program called Full Stack Game Development, where anybody can join this program, and they can become a game developer. And our promise to them is that we will help them get jobs in the industry. Today, we already partner with more than 150 game companies in India, and actually help them hire the best fit talent based on their needs. at the end of the day, teaching you the right coding skills and the right coding practices. That's our job, and our promise to you is that we'll get you that job through this program. So you'll learn a lot of computer science fundamentals, you'll learn a lot of game development, specifically the Unity game engine. You'll learn a lot of good coding practices during this 7 month, and you'll get to interact with a lot of folks where you're attending classes every day and working on game projects from day one. And at the end of the 7 month, you have enough variety of projects in your portfolio to showcase, and then we help you get in front of the right companies and help you break into those interviews as well.
That's very cool. This is just in general a very cool problem to be solving, I think.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's talk about your progress. What do the numbers look like? How many jobs have people got so far? How many people are doing the course?
So in the last 2.5 years, we started really slow. Initially, we were building this as a bootstrap business, but now after raising our first round, we have actually accelerated quite a lot. We are onto our 18th clan. So our cohorts are called as clans. We have gone from I think this year alone we have launched more than 10 clans, which has been more than cumulative of all the clans we have done in the past. And right now we have about 80 plus students that are going through the cohorts. There are 5 different cohorts that are currently operational. 90+% of our students who have graduated from the program are already placed. So majority of them are getting placed with companies like Mobile Premier League, MPL, studio portfolios within Nazara. You have people who are working with the 4G game at Encore, people who have worked on your Ludo King. The company behind that is Gamation. So we have a plethora of audience that is now maturing and working with these world-class teams in India. Some of them are already working remotely with international studios as well. And we're looking to get into a philosophy where we are producing, a fresh batch of candidates are graduating every month, because frankly, at this stage, we have way too many companies who are looking to hire game developers and very less talent that's actually graduating at this stage. So we are aggressively looking for good quality and people who are committed towards this program. And because we use what is sort of study now, pay later kind of an approach, or an income share agreement, which is probably known for a lot of the audience in the industry, we try to reduce the barrier in terms of how many people can enter into this, and folks who are really passionate about it can actually transition into a successful career in this direction.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about your team. Since you are growing, I'm sure if you're not hiring now, you'll maybe you're hiring now, or you'll be hiring in the near future. Yep. So why should people want to join your team? Why should people want to help you build Outscale or build Outscale with you?
Yep, perfect. So I think this is a very personal sort of a thing as well, because joining an early stage startup definitely requires a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? So one of the things that I talk to a lot of people, we are always hiring, we are looking for a great talent today as well. Across all business function, whether it's from product perspective, people who are coming from background in edtech. So one thing that I've like people have told me is the exciting proposition when they stumble on Outscale or get to know about Outscale is that this is probably the coolest intersection of things that they have encountered from a working professional perspective, right? Because you have this massive upskilling need. Since COVID, gaming has gotten a strong boost as well, and we are at the right intersection of these two, right? This is probably the two domains that got the massive tailwinds from COVID. And not just that, everybody that I talk to who's done something or the other in the edtech industry or the gaming industry, they've been passionate about the other problem as well, right? So we are always looking for people who have sort of more of an entrepreneurial mindset, irrespective of whether they are in marketing, operations, product, biz dev, whatever they are with, sort of ideal kind of folks that gel well within our culture is kind of people who bring a lot of entrepreneurial mindset, they get to own a lot of responsibility in terms of the things that they are doing, bring a lot of projects to life based on their core focus areas as well. And we trust them to do this because at the core of it, right, Outscale is a remote first company. We have been completely remote. We have people in team members in Srinagar down to Kerala and across the breadth as well. So we are always aggressively hiring. If you have that kind of an entrepreneurial mindset and you're interested in working at this unique intersection of gaming industry as well as education, I think this is going to be the best place for you to come and join us and work together.
That's great. All right. I'm going to let you go. But before I do, I have one last question for you. So in every, I use the reference of Silicon Valley, the show Silicon Valley often, but I'm sure in every entrepreneur's journey, there are these highlight moments, these highlight reel moments where you have to stop and be like, damn, we're actually building something cool here, right? So do you have any such stories of having had to stop and be like, damn?
No, I think it happens in almost every founder's journey, right? I'm sure you've heard that as well a lot from all the founders. So for us, actually, it happened very early on. When we had kickstarted our first cohort, actually only had 3 students, like literally just 3. And I was the only one in the company at that stage. I was running it solo. I was still unsure whether this is going to be a meaningful enough venture or not. I had learned a lot from how good education is supposed to be in US, having gone to Carnegie Mellon to have a dedicated sort of a master's program for gaming industry, right? And then having spent time working in the Bay Area in SF with some world-class engineers and world-class game teams, I knew what game industry was globally looking at, right? But we were always unsure whether this is going to resonate well, right? So with our first cohort of 3 engineers, we did a 3-month program. Right now, the full stack game development program is 7-month long. It's much well fleshed out, but our first iteration of it was just 3 months long, and we still had doubts whether this is going to work or not, right? But at the end of those 3 months, when our first set of 3 engineers, we pushed their resumes out to the industry, we saw that they were getting literally job offers of 3x of what a typical engineer in the industry used to get, right?
Wow.
So within a short 3 month of time, we were able to actually, the real aha moment came in when on Monday we started pushing their resumes out. Before Saturday that same week, each of those guys had at least 4 to 5 different job offers lined up already.
That is so cool. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. It's very cool to see you growing and like to see the kind of, I don't know if movement is the right word, but movement that you're creating in this industry. So kudos to that. And I can't wait to see where this goes in the next few years.
Yeah, thank you.
So
and I think you hit the very right word, movement, right? Because I still see a lot of people who are coming to Outscale saying they want to become game developers and they want to get into the game industry, but there's still social stigma around, parents thinking gaming is just for fun. You don't build right career. So internally, we talk about this concept of rebels, right? Like we are kind of arming the rebels. I like that Shopify analogy a lot, where we think about like how we are sort of setting up talent for the future of this industry and help them sort of accelerate. So I think a perfect note to end our conversation today. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mayank.
Thanks, Noah. Thanks for having me.